Hello, welcome back to Shit Rentals with your host Purple Pingers, and more importantly, my little video essay on why affordable housing in Australia is just inherently broken. Before I start though, I'm doing a shameless self-promotion. I'm going to be playing with Sorted Ordeal at Shopkickers in Thornbury on the 24th of February, so if you want to listen to some silly little songs I wrote, please come watch. If you don't do that. Paragraph 1. What's affordable housing? Affordable housing is the government's answer to the housing crisis. Affordable housing is where the government gives a bunch of money or incentives to private landlords, property developers and community housing organisations to make or offer houses available, affordable houses. There's no national definition for what is an affordable house, and I'm going to explain why this is a very big problem. Also keeping in mind that this is, instead of building public housing, they're just getting, private industry to do it for them and then pay them, and we don't own it. So to explain why this system is inherently fucked, here's an example. This is a house in Clovelly, or an apartment, a 2-bedroom unit for $1,120 per week, and it's under the New South Wales government's affordable housing scheme, whatever it's called. I don't actually know if it has a name. So here are the eligibility requirements to be eligible for this particular house under the New South Wales government scheme. You can earn more than under the NRAS scheme, and the eligibility requirements are more lenient. So keeping that in mind, this is meant to be kind of more accessible for people, and here are the requirements. So if you're a single parent with one child, you have to be earning no more than $100,900 per annum, and that's before tax. So after tax, this is $75,600 a year, and weekly that is $1,453. So keeping in mind that the price of this rental is $1,120 per week, to actually be eligible for this rental, you have to be earning less than this amount or no more than this amount. So that means if you were actually eligible for this property and you were, under the threshold, but like on the max kind of limit, the total rent that you would be paying is 77% of your entire income. So like, forget groceries and shit and bills and stuff. Your whole income is just this property's rent. Also, let's just keep in mind that most single parents are women, 83%. Also, the Australian government, states and territories and federally define rental stress as spending more than 30% of your gross income on rent. So pretty much this affordable house, this affordable property is by definition going to put you in rental stress, and is by definition unaffordable if you're a single parent with a child, or any of those other eligible kind of couple situations. Also, this data is from 2020, but it shows that single parent households, that the median income is $34,000, and that was a decrease from 2016, which was $38,000. So the median income is $34,000, which is obviously a lot less than, the eligibility requirements. But if you're earning $34,000 a year, that's not going to happen. You can't afford this property by definition. So this is from the New South Wales government's website, which kind of defines how you can set the rent under their affordability scheme, and it's has to be 20 to 25% below market rent, or it's a proportion of their income. So this property is set as 20 to 25% below market rent. This is the New South Wales government affordable housing ministerial guidelines, and it says, in general, households on very low and low incomes should not pay more than 25 to 30% of their gross income in rent. Except these same guidelines here, with this exact sentence in it, allows for private landlords to set the rent of a property at 77% of your income. Anyways, there's a lot more to be said about this topic, and I'll probably do some more videos in the future if you're interested. Also, probably not if you're not interested, but this is the real estate agency that is listing the property, and they are not evil. These are not the problem. This is the landlord setting the rent. This real estate agency donates 100% of profits to help end homelessness in Melbourne, which is pretty sick. And I did end up speaking with them, and they said, if you're close to the threshold, but obviously it's definitely going to be too much, they can negotiate with the landlord, but ultimately it's not them who set the rent. We have a problem in Australia. It's called a housing crisis, and the government's answer to this housing crisis is to, number one, not help people who are experiencing, housing instability, and instead the answer is, let's just pay property developers and private landlords to offer these places that literally no one can afford, and then let's just call them affordable, because that's just Also, there needs to be a nationally recognized definition of affordable housing because every state and territory has their own definition. And also, the definition, if they decide that, needs to actually be affordable. Like it's in the name. I feel like it also should be in the legislation, perhaps. It's such a Donald Trump and Scott Morrison move to be able to legally call something affordable housing and get funding from the state and federal governments, and then it, by definition, literally not be affordable. Federal government politicians benefited from public institutions like, free healthcare, actually free healthcare, free university education, public housing, and then once they had theirs, they just took that away from you. And I feel like we're not angry enough about that. Anyways, come see me at Shot Kickers if you want to see me play little songs. Also, feel free to grab some merch. It looks fucking sick in real life. And thanks to everyone who joined the Patreon. Please feel free to do that if you can afford to. But yeah, don't do any of these things if you can't afford to. Everything's fucked. And yeah, if you want some, but can't afford to, please let me know. Just email me. And yeah, if you want me to come visit your house, email me. I'll come over.